Yes. Honorable Speaker, I was saying I want to avoid the route taken by my colleagues in ODM to celebrate the withdrawal of security. But I was also saying, as much as Honorable Speaker, we are entitled to security. And I remember that time they told us that you are secure. You don't need policemen. The police have ensured that everybody within the country is secure. Okay. And we stayed for almost 4 years without security, Honorable Speaker, because of our political persuasion. And I would never support the withdrawal of a member of parliament security on account of his political persuasion. However, Honorable Speaker, we must also, as members of parliament who enjoy that rare privilege, that when most of our constituents are being terrorized by thugs and there is rampant insecurity around the country, we enjoy that rare privilege of having armed officers with us almost on a 24-hour basis. And Honorable Speaker, it is a rare privilege given to us by the people of Kenya, and therefore it must not be taken away by anybody. However, Mr. Speaker, we also have a duty and obligation to make sure that we do not in any way or manner misuse those security officers. And Honorable Speaker, there have been occasions where members of parliament, and I'm aware, Honorable Speaker, there is already a member of parliament whose security officer was disarmed on account of misuse of the firearm. And Honorable Speaker, our officers are charged with the responsibility of protecting us to be able to execute our duties as members of parliament without fear or without being intimidated by anybody in the streets. But our officers are not given to us, Honorable Speaker, to protect us in violent demonstrations and protests. I think, Honorable Speaker, when I listened to the Cabinet Secretary of the Interior on Monday, he did direct officers to ensure that there is law and order in Nairobi and in other urban centers where we had been threatened with violent protests, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, when the Cabinet Secretary and the Inspector General of Police, on account of the Public Order Act, says that you have not conformed to the law, you have not informed the police on where you want to picket, what roads you want to use, what times, and he says the police and directs the police as the Inspector General of Police to ensure that there are no violent demonstrations and protests, then we want to use our officers who are armed to face off with the other armed officers, Honorable Speaker. We are calling for anarchy in the country. And as much, Honorable Speaker, as I said, I would not celebrate the withdrawal of security on any member, not even Honorable Nyikal, or the Honorable John Buddy, or even Babu Owino, who even has a record of misuse of firearms himself, and is still guarded by an armed officer, Honorable Speaker. I will never, and I shall never stand to support the withdrawal of their security. But we must act responsibly as leaders. We cannot be leading youthful young men who are torching vehicles, trailers on the southern bypass, matatus, and Honorable Speaker, the matatu that was torched by goons from Kibra on Gong Road belonged to a young man from Ondire village in my constituency. That young man tells me he's still struggling to repay his loan. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, when it is us as leaders who are using police officers